Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chesstrovert and the Global Chess League has started. So I'll be presenting you some games. In the beginning there might be some lag in my video. Don't mind that please because my OBS is there is some problem with my OBS. I don't know what, but I'll get it fixed obviously. So let's dive into the games. I'll be showing you the games of Vishwanathan Anand versus Fabiano Caruana and Pragnananda and Javakir Sindarov. Both candidates are fighting each other in the Global Chess League. So let's get started without any further ado. The first match I'll be showing you between Caruana and Anand. Here Fabiano has the white pieces and he starts off the game with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the Spanish Rui Lopez opening. Murphy's defense, bishop goes back, knight comes out, short castles. Knight is attacking the pawn, but after knight takes the pawn, white can just play d4 and then followed up with b5. Bishop has to come back, pawn comes to the center, pawn takes, bishop comes out, pawn push to c3 so that the bishop can tuck inside if it is attacked in the future. Bishop comes out to e7, bishop c2 as I said, and bishop g4 attacking the knight. The queen moves over. The purpose is to take the knight, and then if pawn takes, queen takes the knight, and he will regain his, so not regain his pawn, he will get an extra pawn because right now there are seven pawns and seven pawns each. Okay, so knight goes to the other square, so because it was being attacked, knight comes out to d2, knight goes back to e6, queen comes up, short castles, rook e1, queen d7 is played, and then the bishop is kicked out. The bishop has been asked a question, what do you want to do? Whether you want to take the knight or do you want to move? Bishop moves, knight comes back. This is a common maneuver which happens in the Spanish and Italian setups where this knight goes from here to here. This maneuver has been done. Next, the bishop goes back, bishop comes out, knight goes to a5, and the rook comes to d1 in the same line as the queen, so that if in future this pawn is not there, then the rook can clearly attack the queen. Next, let's see what happens. Anand plays c5, he is trying to capture the center, and Fabiano plays knight g3, normal move. Rook comes here, knight goes to f5, rook comes to d8, pawn push to g4, knight goes back. Bishop here, obviously the idea is if pawn takes, then the rook takes the queen. The knight goes back and Fabiano plays bishop f4. Bishop goes back to f8, bishop c2, knight e6, bishop comes to g3. The bishop maneuvered from a long, like the bishop came here, and then here. This was the maneuver. So yeah, that's a good maneuver. And now Fabiano is having a slight advantage because the position is looking very good for white. And pawn push to the center, d4, bishop comes to e4, queen goes back, queen slides over, takes, 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 pawn push. The pawn is pushed to h4 by Fabiano, pawn h5, takes, bishop takes, and the knight has cemented itself in the center of black's camp. The bishop can take it and remove this problem, remove the thorn. Let's see what happens. Anand does not take. Anand should have taken. Because Anand does not take, he is allowing this outpost. That knight is on a very strong outpost supported with this pawn. And the white evaluation for white has gone like crazy. White is seriously better over here. Bishop check, king moves, and queen comes to f5, pawn comes to g6, knight attacks the king. Now king takes bishop, queen takes e6, rook d3, and this is where Anand resigns because after a couple of moves, the king will be checkmated, and yeah, this is where the game ends. So Fabiano Caruana wins. He plays the Rui Lopez against Anand and he took the victory. Let's move on to the next game of Pragnananda from India and Sindarov from Uzbekistan. The game starts off with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6. The Italian opening, and then couple of moves are played, preparatory moves, developing moves. As you can see, white is gaining space on the queen side, black is moving his rook, bishop b2, bishop f8. All common ideas are being played, and the knight is maneuvered to g3 again. As I said, this common maneuver which happens. This has happened again, and same for this knight. This came on g6. Pawn push to c6, and then bishop goes back. Pawn a5. White is breaking in the center with d4. Takes, queen takes. Bishop comes to g4, attacks the knight. Knight moves up, and bishop is attacking that bishop on b3. Pawn comes up. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Rook takes, rook takes. Pawn comes to b5. Pawn takes, bishop takes bishop. Knight takes bishop. Pawn takes on b5, and now queen d3. Next, d5 is played. Rook d1, knight f4, queen d2, g5. Expanding on the king side, black is expanding on the king side, and now queen gives a check. Queen has this beautiful diagonal to itself. As you can see, this diagonal is really very good for the queen and the bishop if it wants to come in future. Queen blocks, queen takes, knight takes queen, and pawn takes, knight takes pawn. The rook comes to e6, knight attacks the rook, rook attacks the knight back. Okay, this is an instructive moment. I would like to teach you something. In my previous videos also I have said, whenever you are getting attacked, there is an art of attack and an art of defense. Whenever you are getting attacked, you can do three things. You can counter attack, or you can move your piece, or you can defend your piece. In this situation, the rook is being attacked. Pragnananda has attacked black's rook. So he can move his rook, he can defend his rook, or he can counter attack. He decides to counter attack because he could have moved his rook also. He could have moved his rook to e7 anywhere, but he decided to counter attack, which is the most active response. Bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop comes to e5, knight goes by again. See, he is counter attacking. He is not playing any passive kind of move. And now Pragnananda has a passer. Both players are very low on time. Pragnananda has 33 seconds, Sindarov having 53 seconds. Let's see what happens. And this was a very bad move from Pragnananda because this rook can capture over here. Although Sindarov missed it and he captured this bishop, and which gives Pragnananda the equality, but black was better because of that move. Bishop d6, black was slightly better. Rook takes knight, and then pawn takes on f3. Rook comes up, pawn push, rook behind pawn. This is another principle which you should follow. In the endgame, when your opponent is having a passer, you should bring the rook behind the pawn. There is a principle called rook behind the pawn. It is not compulsory, but it is one of the main ideas to stop the pawn. Okay, next, knight f5, knight comes to e5, knight takes pawn with check, king comes over to attack the knight, rook f6, king g7, rook f5, rook check, king up, and now knight g6, rook takes pawn, king takes the knight, and now this is a passer. Let's see what happens. Check, king comes down, knight comes here, and now black is completely winning because after a couple of moves, as you can see, white has a passer, but there is no point of having a passer because all the black's pieces are attacking the king and are on the king side. That is why even if white makes a queen, white will get checkmated first. So let's see, white is even bringing his king over to the king side to support his pieces. Rook check, king moves over, rook comes to c7, king g3, rook comes down, rook takes the passed pawn, and now this is just completely winning for black. And in this position, Pragnananda resigned against Javokir Sindarov. These were the two games which I wanted to present to you, and I will be back for recapping the next rounds of the Global Chess League. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please like, share, and subscribe to Chesstrovert channel. Thank you. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Goodbye.